have all the parts you need except for the wood. So, what do we need? Well, you need your plans, either the ones you buy from me or the ones you make yourself, for the body and for the fingerboard. You need a 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe, at least 16.5 inches long, so you probably buy it in foot length, so you need 2 feet. You need a child guitar, 19 or 20 inch scale length, and you measure scale length from the nut all the way back to where the string breaks across the saddle at the back. So that needs to be 19 or 20 inches. And you'll basically just be using the neck from this, though this assumes also that you are going to use the strap buttons and the neck plate from the back that makes the neck attached to the body. So what else do we need? Well, you need a bow. I highly recommend a 3/4 scale cello bow and some rosin. Guess what? Bows don't work unless the hair on them is sticky. And if you don't rub rosin on to make it sticky, it's not going to make much sound. A lot of people have that problem when they're getting started. Also going to need a jack plate, output jack. I like using these Strat style ones and recessing them into the backside of the guitar. And those have screws that come with them. Could also use a different style jack that comes on your guitar, your choice. I'm going to need a jazz archtop style tailpiece. These are often called trapeze tailpieces, and this is the kind that is going to enable us to have this hold the ends of the strings and then have the string go up over the bridge and down the neck to the tuner. You can also use a gate latch from Lowe's or Home Depot and drill holes in it if you don't want to use a real trapeze tailpiece. Your call. I did that at first. Then you're going to need a 3/4 scale or full scale cello bridge, and we'll be cutting this down. I'll show you the shape that we need, but we'll be cutting that out of this and not using all that much of it, honestly, but it's the best way to get a good quality bridge is just to chop down a real one. Going to need a pickup system. This is the pickup system I highly recommend. It is a JJB Electronics PPS 200, and it is a dual piezo disc pressure based pickup system. And what you do is you put these discs on either side of the base foot of the bridge, and that gives us a nice bassy warm tone. And this will just drop in, and this jack will plug in here to this socket. And we also need the string retainer bar to push the strings down between the nut and the tuners. And you're going to need some new tuners probably. Like I said, you can try to reuse the ones on there, but you know, these ukulele tuners, these are 2x2, designed for this kind of headstock where there's 2 rows of tuners. It's like $7 or $8 on Amazon. And then finally you're going to need 1/2 or 1/4 scale set of cello strings. So now onto the wood. Okay, so let's talk about wood. You need 3 different pieces of wood and 3 different kinds of wood to make this instrument. So the first is you need one of these guys. This is oak from Lowe's, Home Depot. This is what it calls 1/2 inch thick, and this is a 4-foot length. You can also get them in 3-foot lengths. If you look at your body template, that's less than half of this thing, so you could get away with a 3-foot length. I just bought 4s because I wasn't 100% sure what I needed. So what's this for? Well, this is going to make up the center portion of the body. And this is oak, a hardwood, because you need structurally to have a really strong core for the instrument. So that's the inside. So this here we have is pine tread. It is designed to build stairs out of. If you try to find a 1-inch piece of wood that you would expect to be double the thickness of this 1/2-inch piece of wood, you will be mistaken. That 1-inch piece of wood is only going to be about 3/4 of an inch thick. Why is this? I have no idea. Somebody who's more experienced with wood, tell me down in the comments. But the thing about this is we are going to be double layering this piece of oak. And as such, in order to match the thickness of it, we need an actual 1-inch thick piece of wood, pine, to go on the sides. And if you look for 1-inch thick pine at Lowe's, it's always going to be about 3/4 of an inch thick. So this guy right here is in fact 1 inch thick. I don't know why, but this is the only piece of wood I've been able to reliably find that is an actual 1 inch thick, so that when we put the inner core up against it, double layered, we're going to get a match in height between the inside and outside parts. Alright, so that's the second piece of wood that we're going to need. Third and final piece of wood that we're going to need is plywood. Yes, plywood. Okay, so here's the thing. I've built Cellotars out of plywood. That was my very first one, was plywood, and the sides were reclaimed from an old piano lid. Reclaiming is cool, I know. Plywood, not so cool. However, stick with me. So plywood is a very strong material. It's laminated, it's got a lot of layers in there, like a sandwich. So the type of construction that I do for these Cellotars, I like to call a sandwich model of construction. Because what you have is an oak core, pine wings, and then on top and bottom, you're going to have a plywood top and a plywood back. So what are the benefits of plywood? For plucked guitars, you want them to be really bright, you want them to sustain a long time. The thing is, with bowed guitars, you actually want the body and the strings to absorb as much as the screechiness of the string as you possibly can. So that's why we use cello strings, because they are designed to be warmer. In fact, the construction method is called flat wound, which, if you are familiar with guitars, flat wound jazz strings are a much mellower sound, they're less bright. Cello strings are made the same way. So, what does the plywood give us? Well, it gives us additional strength, which means in combination with the body design that I've made, you don't need any supports. So, the thing about solid wood tops is, yes, they're if you make it out of a solid wood, you make it thin, that's great, but then you need a lot of bracing in order to keep it from smashing through from the weight of the string tension. So what plywood gives you is a lot of strength compared to a solid wood top. So you don't need any bracing, and because of that, it actually can vibrate a whole lot more freely. So with the plywood, you don't need any bracing on the inside with the way that I designed the body. And so when you brace a solid top, it inhibits the vibration of that top a lot as a trade-off for strength. So plywood does that for us without having to do any extra work. And it mellows the tone of the bowed strings, just inherently, because it is a less bright, less strongly vibrating material. However, it doesn't need to be that strong because of the pickup system. Pickup system is very sensitive. These discs stick onto the top of the instrument, and they pick up that vibration. So just like an electric guitar doesn't need to be terribly loud acoustically, this instrument is designed to be plugged in for anything but quiet room solo practice. So the pickup system compensates for volume, and with the small size of the body, it's also not going to be incredibly bassy. But the pickup system compensates for that too, because the dual piezo discs, both placed on the bass side of the instrument, in front of and behind the bridge foot, warm the tone up, make it bassier, and so it's like a natural EQ, because we are doubly amplifying the bass side of the instrument, and the treble side of the instrument kind of is left to affect the pickups more from a distance. So that also warms and rounds the tone. All right, so that's all the woods that we're going to need. We got all our other parts, so let's start cutting stuff. Hey everybody, that's right. Next week we're going to start cutting stuff. Power tools going to come out, wood chips are going to fly everywhere, and I'm going to be wearing my safety glasses because I don't want to lose my vision, because I'm a professional designer, visual effects artist and animator, and that would really mess up my career to not be able to see. So yeah, wear safety glasses when you work with power tools, unless you're a moron and want to lose your vision. So don't do that. See you next time. Bye.